I remember the first time I saw the remastered edition of The Return of the Jedi. It was much more crisp and clear, and no doubt it had an overall better quality than the VHS tapes. But that's not the only thing that Lucasfilm changed. The original, as you know, shows this scene of Luke Skywalker after the destruction of the second Death Star, celebrating on the forest moon of Endor with his friends, as he looks out into the distance at Obi-Wan, Yoda, and his father, Anakin Skywalker. It was originally Sebastian Shaw, the same actor we saw at the end of the film, who died in Vader's suit. In the remastered edition, it was changed later to Hayden Christensen from the prequels. As someone who was a little kid when the prequels came into theaters, I got pretty emotional during this scene, to say the least, because it tied together everything so nicely. However, why did they make Anakin young? I'm going to cover another video of why they didn't make Obi-Wan's ghost young, but for now let's just stick to Anakin. The reasoning behind this is fairly simple. It comes from an interview with George where he touched on this topic personally when asked. He had this to say about it. A Jedi's Force ghost is the image the Jedi had of themselves when they died, and that Anakin died when he became Darth Vader. So right there we can see that Lucas was trying to tie in all the films as closely knit as he could, and by putting young Anakin's head onto old Anakin's body, he was able to do this, at least in his vision. I'm going to also add the novelization in there. The piece is from a snippet when Vader dies and Anakin returns. And for those who didn't know, the Return of the Jedi is actually Anakin returning back to the light from Darth Vader. His thoughts were narrated in this piece here. Vader's own sense of anguish to his crimes added guilt at the imagined repugnance of his appearance. But then this brought to mind of the way he used to look, striking and grand, with a wry tilt to his brow that hinted of invincibility, and took in all of life with a wink. Yes, that was how he looked once. So Force ghosts are able to manifest their appearance into either themselves or just a voice-like orb floating around. Since this image was the last time Anakin was a Jedi, and from what we know at this point, unless changed by Disney, is that only Jedi can become Force ghosts, of course in canon, then it makes sense for Anakin to return in his younger form. Now, my small theory about this is that we know Lucas had relations with Disney for years before they bought the rights, as he even said in interviews. So perhaps they had a little to say in the matter so that they could bring Anakin back in the future, helping with the continuity and to bring more hype to the films. I want to know what you all think. Are you a fan of Hayden showing up as a Force ghost, or would you rather it be the original Sebastian Shaw?